The NDC Investment Forum initiative seeks to catalyze climate leadership in the region. This brings together government heads, private citizens, and civil societies to dialogue on ways to build resilience to climate change. The NDCFI was formed to advance the implementation of nationally determined contributions (NDCs) in the Eastern Caribbean by mobilizing and channeling finance to the region. The NDC is basically the framework for a country's climate plan. The second forum is being held this week in St. Lucia at the Harbour Club.
We need to ask ourselves how important climate change is as an issue for the region. Because if you've seen the 6th assessment report, or even browsed through it, or seen any of the reports that have, or even seen a news article about it, you'll know that the latest report by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, says that things are critical with regard to climate change. It's no longer just a situation, it's an emergency. And if we don't take drastic action as an international community, we're going to be in deep water, literally and figuratively.
The forum assesses the challenges as well as achievements and immediate action taken nationally and individually to mitigate the impacts of climate change.
What are some of the priority actions we need to take? What we can do as a region, what we can do as member states, what steps that need to be taken collectively, individually, by whom? Okay, and so these are the things we're looking for. For example, with renewable energy. We're always talking about renewable energy. The region is blessed with solar and wind and so on. The pace of the move to that shift is maybe slower than it should be. And so we're looking at what needs to be done to accelerate that. Is it governments, the private sector? If we want the private sector to assist, what policies need to be put in place to incentivize that and so on? And how do we help private citizens, households to take advantage likewise?
Conversations on renewable forms of energy were also encouraged at the forum.
When you hear about solar panels, or solar, we immediately think of solar panels on roofs. But we're not thinking about it in agriculture, for example. But there is a role for solar in agriculture. People think that, okay, if you have solar panels, you can't have any agriculture on a location. But the two of them can coexist. So there is a role for the farming community, for example, okay, and food producers. So we want to broaden it also to include more persons, more people, so they can recognize that there's a role for them and that there are ways of achieving our objectives, both in terms of food security, for example, and energy requirements.
The 3-day conference includes discussions on advancing pathways to post-pandemic recovery and transitioning to economies based on lower carbon emissions. The second forum will also feature an in-person and virtual exhibition of service providers in the energy sector dubbed the Marketplace. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.